Yes.
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you. We have a lot of people jumping in, but in the interest of your time, which I know is very limited, I think we will get going. Is anybody else seeing the admit? Are you seeing that? Anybody, or am I going to? Can you admit people if I
Car
roll things
Karen,
up?
I'm
Yes.
admitting people.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
thank you. That's perfect. Okay, go for it. All right, so welcome everybody, and you all know, of course, to mute yourself if you are not speaking. But please feel free to use the chat feature to add your thoughts and congratulations and messages to Governor Inslee. So hello and welcome everybody. I am Karen Hannon. I'm the director of ArtsWA, and I'm welcoming you all to this really auspicious occasion that brings us together to celebrate Governor Inslee and his steadfast support of the arts. When Americans for the Arts and the U.S. Conference of Mayors sent out a request for nominations for its Public Leadership in the Arts Award last year, I was just only too happy to oblige and to recommend the governor. And I was thrilled, alongside the ArtsWA staff and Board of Commissioners, to learn some months later that Governor Inslee had indeed been chosen as the 2020 recipient of this prestigious national award. Now, you all know that our state is known for its robust creative economy. We have the second largest in the country. And our state is also known for its diverse and thriving arts and culture scene. Our state is known for its creative districts, its acclaimed public art. It's known for its work with arts and healing in the military, and for its folk arts programs and apprenticeships. And this past year, it also became known for its effective and rapid distribution of COVID relief grants by ArtsWA, the State Arts Commission, of almost $4 million approved by Governor Inslee and the legislature to support the critical arts and creative sector. So all this is to say that today's award is well deserved by our Governor Inslee. But now it's my pleasure to introduce Manny Kawali, who's Executive Director of Inspire Washington, to say a few words. Go ahead, Manny.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Washington State, and hello, Governor Inslee. I'm broadcasting from the 37th District. I'm Manny Kawali, the Executive Director for our state's cultural advocacy organization, Inspire Washington. I'm also a board member for ArtsWA Washington, and Inspire Washington is a proud member of the State Arts Action Network, which is convened with advocacy organizations across the country under the leadership of Americans for the Arts. On behalf of my third-generation Washington family, Governor Inslee, I want to thank you for putting the health of our communities first. My dog Sumo wants to let you know, and a special thank you because it's meant a lot of good time at home. I want to tell you, Governor Inslee, you are one of my favorite advocacy stories. You may not remember this, but it's something that is unforgettable to me, that in 2018, when we all gathered together at Admiral Theater in Bremerton, Washington, you shared this picture that you drew. It's one of my favorite stories, sir, and I'll tell you why. Because it really shows the power of creativity. And I always frame this not as this was by the governor. This is a grandfather who drew this picture and created a story for his children, which really is just a great example of how creativity is a way that we show, is a way we express our feelings, the way we connect with one another. So therefore, this may not be an artist award, but you definitely you did better than I would have done. So your leadership, Governor, makes Washington State vibrant in so many different ways. But you have the supreme distinction of running one of the most significant cultural states in the nation that also has national significance. We represent 8.4% of the state's GDP, and when you rank all the states in order of the percentage of GDP, we are number 2. We have art, and creativity that happens within every community because of your work and your support, such as the valuable work in Tieton through the Tieton Arts and Humanities, the wonderful work that happens every summer through the Juan de Fuca Arts Foundation and their wonderful festival, the Metau Arts Alliance, which brings meaningful opportunities to all the communities within that valley, down in Vancouver with the Vancouver Symphony, one of my new favorites, the Artisan Barn at the artists at Damen Barn along the Palouse, as well as San Juan Community Theater, all across Washington. Here in King County, organizations are able to serve their communities with meaningful experiences. So I celebrate all the great work that you've done thus far, and I also know that in the future we will be your partner to really, when it's safe again, to come and inspire connection between people, between families, between communities, through the power of creativity, curiosity, and critical thinking. So I celebrate this with you, and I'm looking forward to all we can do in the future to get Washington healthy as a whole once again. Congratulations.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Manny. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Brigadier General Nolan Bivens, U.S. Army, retired, who will make the formal presentation to Governor Inslee. Brigadier General Nolan Bivens is currently the interim CEO at Americans for the Arts. And General Bivens' military service spans more than 3 decades. His last military assignment was as Chief of Staff, U.S. Southern Command in Miami, Florida. He was a Chief Operations Officer for the Coalition Forces during Operations Enduring Freedom, Deputy Commanding General 4th Infantry Division, and Deputy Director Regional Operations for the U.S. Coalition Provisional Authority during Iraqi Freedom. And he's also a strong and fervent supporter of the arts. Brigadier General Bivens, you have the mic.
Well, thank you, Karen. I hope I'm coming through to everyone. I always have to do the test.
You bet.
Thank you, Karen, for that, the introduction. And I really appreciate that coming from you. I got to tell a short story about you. You know, you are a great leader in the world of art. As many of you may know, I did a lot of work with creative forces. And the state of Washington governor was one of the first ones to take the lead in bringing the arts alive to military service members once they returned. And I had a firsthand view to see Karen's leadership along with her entire organization. And I will tell you, it was one of the best that I've seen throughout all the arts. We did about 13 different states, so I think I get a pretty good position to reference from. Karen, you're a leader in this field, and I'm more than enjoyed working with you and continually doing so. While we're talking about personal influence, Governor Inslee, I want to, before I get into the introduction of your leadership here for the award, I just wanted to let you know how you have personally continued to influence our nation in terms of leadership. As the crisis of last year occurred and many of the governors stepped forward to take action, I just want to let you personally know, from a guy who studied leadership and been around it for quite many years, you have modeled for the country what I think governor level leadership did and should do in those kind of crises. And it's a great example of that. And I often use it in many of my stories as I do consulting in other areas as well. At the same time, we are here to make representation of your leadership in the area of arts. So I'm pleased to represent the Americans for the Arts in partnership with the United States Conference of Mayors to present the 2020 Public Leadership and Awards Award for the State Arts Leadership to Washington State Governor Jay Inslee. This award was originally presented at the Mayor's Arts Breakfast almost a year ago in Washington, D.C., when we should still could gather in person. Alas, the governor's schedule prevented him from attending, although we sent a wonderful video. It had been our intention to represent and represent this award to you in person sometimes last spring. Well, everybody knows what happened as a result of that. I want to share a few highlights of his art leadership in Washington State and on a personal level, as I stated earlier. During his long career in politics, Governor Inslee has been very clear about his love and respect for the arts, and specifically his support for Washington State's Art Commission. And here's what I love, his appreciation for K through 12 arts education. Governor Inslee values public funding of the arts and the role and the impact that public investment in grants to the artists and arts organizations have on communities throughout the state. This is especially true when we consider the many smaller and more rural communities across the wide expanse of the state of Washington. Governor Inslee was an early supporter of a creative district certification program that he signed into law in 2018. The program leverages art and culture to generate economic activity in local communities. Governor Inslee also brought his art leadership to the national level by facilitating sessions on arts and culture at the National Governors Association. From the arts as an economic engine to understanding the importance of arts education as integral to the development of 21st century skills and to creative healing for our returning military veterans, Governor Inslee has inspired many governors to also be a strong champion of arts and culture. And I know that as well, based upon work that I've done with at least three states of governors already. In fact, at the 2018 meeting of the National Governors Association, Governor Inslee unveiled a recent painting he made himself titled Bear in the Woods, and announced that he was going to auction it off to support arts education programming at Americans for the Arts. He stated, "Arts help teach our children to think creatively and critically about our communities and the ways we shape them. I'm honored to support arts education for students across the country," unquote. Then last year, Governor Inslee paired up with former Washington State House Speaker and Tacoma Mayor Brian Ebersol for a month-long art tour entitled Nonpartisan, and the emphasis on art, at a gallery in downtown Tacoma, in which they each showcase 15 works of art. This is a governor who always has his paintbrush and his support for the arts at the ready. Please join me in congratulating Washington Governor Jay Inslee in receiving the 2020 Americans for the Arts and the United States Conference of Mayors National Award for State Arts Leadership. Governor, I turn the virtual podium over to you now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brigadier General. Appreciate this. Really appreciate this honor. I'm sorry it's taken so long for us to gather together. It is a celebration. It's a celebratory time in our state, in our nation. We've got a new president, and I just want to start my comments about commenting on the power of art and creative enterprises right now. It's a very powerful thing to inspire and unite our country in a kind of a challenging time for us right now. And I just want to share a couple feelings. So last night, as we were hitting the sack, Trudy showed me a music video done by a family in England where two young daughters and their father, accompanied on a guitar, sang a song that covered Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, and they call it Have a New Jab. So instead of saying Hallelujah, they said Have a New Jab. And it basically was a paean to the vaccine and a musical inspiration to go get your vaccine. It is the most brilliant, beautiful. Trudy and I were listening. We just felt uplifted. These two angelic British girls singing this, wonderful voices with this message like, don't be afraid, save yourself. You know, why do you think Bill Gates wants to dominate you? You know, and so have a new jab. Anyway, you check it out. We couldn't get, I wanted to play it for you, but I think they're selling it now. It was free last night, but it's so popular that now they're selling it. But check it out. It's the Marsh family. So that just gave us a moment's joy last night. And then this morning, we turn on the tube and we see what I considered performance art of 20,000 flags flying in the breeze on the National Mall. And then I just saw President-elect Biden at the Lincoln Memorial, where they have a display honoring the COVID victims with these kind of lights along the Lincoln, the memorial reflecting pool. It is so moving, these visual creative performances that are going around. It moves us. It just helps us get through troubled times. And I've seen this in so many occasions. Early in the pandemic, Trudy and I took a walk. We like to walk around the neighborhood south of the Capitol. And I saw all this chalk art, and somebody had gone through and every other corner had done chalk art, trying to inspire their neighbors, with messages of better days to come and smiley characters. And the creative arts are always important. They're no more ever important than they are right now in our country's history. And so I want to thank this community for what you do every day. I want to thank you for this award. By the way, I don't know if you've all seen it here, but if I can just show this to you, it is gorgeous. And if you look at the interior of this, it's got this like mother of pearl glazing on it. It's really quite fetching. So this is really something I love. It's a huge honor. Now, if I can I'm going to have a little art show with you all, right? So if you're going to give me an art award, I got to give you back an art show. So I love art educators. So my brother-in-law, Phil Yenny, is a retired high school art teacher in Eastmont. And he has passed on his art orientation to his son, who's now running an art gallery in Wenatchee, and his granddaughter, Charlotte, who's about 16. And this is Charlotte's work that she did this year for Trudy's Christmas present, doing rhododendron paintings on Trudy's new Adidas. And I just love the performance art that Trudy will now be performing an art tour every time she goes for a walk. And then I like art because it connects people too. So it helps connect generations. So I was talking about the Marx Brothers a few months ago with my granddaughter, who was 7 at the time, Zoe, and I showed her a little watercolor I did of Groucho. So I'm a big Marx Brothers fan. So there's my Groucho Marx watercolor. And I said, Zoe, why don't you do a picture of Groucho Marx? So here is Zoe Inslee's sketch of Groucho Marx. And I think her characterization was better than mine. And so now we have her art and my alleged art on our table. So I just want to tell you how much I love this community. And I'm very excited that our Creative District program continued to move ahead, even in the middle of the pandemic. So we added Langley, Twist, Port Townsend, and Issaquah to our creative districts in 2020. And we want to keep this movement going. This is such an economic boost for our communities. And I know you've heard me say this before, but the power of the arts economically as an economic driver is still vastly underestimated. It's a huge employer. It's in every community. And I really believe in this creative district proposal, as well as our business rescue program. We did $100 million last session. We're going to do another $100 to $200 million in the next several weeks in the legislature. And I hope that's going to end up in some small galleries and small art creators' hands. And we're going to do what we can to make sure that that happens. And I hope that you'll spread that word that these small arts-oriented businesses should be very alert to this to get their applications in. I hope to have this come out of the legislature in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to hope that that's going to help some new folks. So thank you. This is a high honor for me. I really appreciate it. My brother is also a retired art teacher, and I meet his students all over the state that tell me how much they loved him and what he meant, because I hear a similar story from my brother's former students, that he helped them stay connected to school. A lot of kids, you learn a little differently. They stay connected to school because of arts and music and drama. And we got to keep our arts and music and drama programs to be rebuilt over the next several years. And I hope that I can help do that. So thank you very much. I'm very appreciative. And this is going to be prominently displayed. It's going to be maybe right next to my state championship basketball trophy for 1969. So, although I don't actually have one, you think I would have got a trophy for that, don't you? But I have the memories. Anyway, you guys, Karin, thank you very much. Manny, thank you very much. Brigadier General. We'll see you at the next art show. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Okay, Karin, I think our work is done here. I hope everybody will be healthy. We have some more work to do. I hope you'll sign up to get your vaccination. Nobody looks over 65 on this call, but if anybody is by accident, go down and get your vaccination right away. Get an appointment. Go to Phase Finder on the DOH Department of Health website, and please get vaccinated. We need you to stay in this game. Or go
Thanks,
to a
Governor.
pharmacy.
We love you.
Okay, you guys.
Thank you for
See
your
you later.
support.
You are.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. Okay, bye, everybody. And thank you all for participating.
Thank you for
Thank you,
organizing.
Karen.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Karen.
Thank you.
Thanks for your lead.
Thank
you, Governor.
Thank you.
We will be posting this.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you. And
Perfect
Jay,
job.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you. We lost General Bivens, but
No, it all went well. So I'm glad that we were able to get the, better late than never, but it is what it is, as someone said, but I could just, the tone of the governor's voice was wonderful, to hear, just, you could hear the proud and joyousness nature of his voice, and to show his I mean, we've seen his work, but his granddaughter's work, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
So it was all good. So I'm glad we could make this work. Karen, thanks for helping. Manny, as always, for making the connections for us too. So
yeah, thank
So
you, Jay,
tomorrow-
for your work, and say thank you to Nolan too. He did a lovely job.
I will do so. Okay. Be well, everyone.
Very well.
Bye. See
Bye-bye.
ya.